You know we dripping in conscious, DNA switching. Heard what they doing, I'm itching to flip it. Won't hopscotch, you know that we top notch. Not even top 3, move like a Christian one-sided. 5-second stare, we keeping it present cause nigga I'm gifted. I'ma just up it and live it, now we seeing it vivid. 1, 2, let me up it and kill it. I know what. Peace, love. Peace, love. Welcome to GQ's universe. Segment of Why. Gonna be asking a couple whys, answering them. Feel free to answer it in the comments. Peace, love. Check out BYRDE for your hair essentials. Black wraps for your rolling papers. Got the Feel Better juice on this way. Passion fruit, turmeric, a bunch of things inside. You'll see that later. Why? Vibe raising therapy, spiritual therapy, questioning yourself, different questions. Us focusing on questions that are life changing for your mental health and more so your physical health too. Cosmic sense, things like that. But for now, let's get into GQ's universe, a segment of Why. Let's do it. So, first question is, do you feel like Juice changed Tupac? I feel like, genuinely speaking, when it came to who Tupac was what he was based on, you know, remember when Tupac was younger, his mom was in the Black Panthers. I think one of the top associates actually. And also, you know, later on in life, she had a little, an addiction in reference to, can't recall the drug at the moment, but she had an addiction. And I'm pretty sure that kind of weighed heavy on Tupac in whatever way it did for him personally. And it seemed like, you know, him being a poet, because I consider him a poet, that's just my perspective. Feel free to give yours. Him growing up, not more so being a product of his environment, but kind of overcoming it, but using rap and his floetry to kind of escape that environment and also kind of change life for his mom and himself and whoever other family members he had. I feel like as he got further into, I'm not too sure when Juice came out, but when he got further into the rap game, going through heavy issues such as like dilemmas that got him in jail, shooting the cops, even in reference to heading to Biggie's studio, and whatever took place in reference to that, and his feelings and animosity in reference to what he felt was done. As you can see, he voiced his opinion and hit him up. So, do I feel like Juice changed Tupac? It might have made things a lot realer for him in reference to that, because based on his character, he was kind of grimy. So it's like, that kind of added to the whole aspect of the thug life, just from my perspective, the thug life persona. And even rap can sometimes be entertaining. And could he have more so fell into his character outside of Juice? Maybe. Or, you know, with involvement comes evolution. So more so, it might have heightened who Tupac was. Maybe confidence based on how he played the role, not more so the role having a big control on him or changing his aspect of real life. But because you see people, you have like Heath Ledger. I just go with Heath Ledger. When they do movies, they get really into that role. Gerard Butler's a nice one too. Uh, Even Jim Carrey, most of the roles that he has fits his personality. But I did feel like Juice had fit the personality of Tupac based on who he was as a rap artist, a Floyd. So I don't feel like Juice changed Tupac. I feel like it kind of added to him uh, in most of the right ways. I don't feel like Tupac was a bad rapper. I don't feel like he was a bad entertainer. I feel like everybody has their flaws, genuinely. Uh, but nah, I don't think Juice changed Tupac. Next question is, uh, why do most Spanish Americans and natives wear Jordans? Okay, let's keep this simple. I feel like most do because of that statement. It's a stereotype. Uh, People become what they're around genuinely. I feel like, from my perspective, when they grow up into it. So let's just say, for example, if that's being said a lot and that's in their universe, more than likely they may unconsciously become that. And it's the same thing for black people, all black people eating fried chicken. Because genuinely speaking, I eat fried chicken, but I don't eat it as much as the stereotype is portrayed. Or grape juice and grape soda, or whatever the case may be. So I think that's more so based on a stereotype, and depending, and probably most of them may have that understanding or stereotype said, and they may suck that up as a sponge as they were younger, and they may develop that habit unconsciously, or maybe they just like fucking Jordans, man. Yeah. Next question. Why do people find comfort in working? From my perspective, I feel like we're in a matrix, and genuinely speaking, everybody's trying to get out that matrix in their own way, because everybody has their own matrix. Now, from my perspective, when I started working, I grew up in a society that when you hit a certain age is that you should be working to maintain yourself, because genuinely speaking, you know, my mother is not gonna always be providing for me, and I'm at the age where 18 I need to start providing for myself. That's what you call a man, I guess. But as I became a worker, I felt like I became comfortable with working because I did it so much. Was it bad? No. But I am breaking out of that understanding of working because it no longer makes me feel comfortable, even though it does in reference to my relative needs. But based on an absolute understanding as a creator, I don't feel comfortable working and giving 8 hours of my time, or even part-time, giving that time when I could actually be creating and in my own universe creating something and actually making an income off of something I'm creating, wherefore putting my time into something where I become a lot more genuine and partake in my creations, rather than, me being a security guard and working within that field and just being a security guard, no more than that. So after I kind of consciously understood there was other things that can be done to make income, it's kind of when I stopped feeling comfortable like wanting to work. So I think for most people, they've been doing it as a habit for so long that, genuinely speaking, it just is what it is, and it's their comfort zone. And also, confidently speaking, you got people that made it out and people that didn't. And some people consider working a way of life, and they have their own experience and their own details when they was younger growing up, whatever was in their environment that gave them that understanding, or when they got older and gave them that understanding, or maybe they have a great job and they want to continue that. I just know for myself personally that I'm not comfortable working for somebody, because I do want to create, like I'm making this YouTube video. You know, I can't do that at work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can be me, I can be free. So shout out to the people working, but question is, you know, why are most people comfortable working? I think because they've been doing it for so long. One, maybe they like their job. Two, and then again, it's what you consider work. Because technically, me sitting here doing this video is still work, but just my own work. So then again, what's your definition of work? Is it for your best interests, or is it based on society's best interests, or the facade created, the facade of what the boss told you it is for, or whatever reasons or values or morals you have in your mind in reference to what it is. So that's what I feel. Next question. Why do men cheat? Now, I feel like, genuinely speaking, when it comes to most men, there's this thing called lust. And then again, I can't speak for most men, but I'm going to speak for what I understand to be most men. And the guys I consider that. A lot of times, I feel like because of lust, a lot of men are looking based on physical attraction. And when it comes to understanding of when it comes to taking time to commit yourself to understand a woman's mental, because your definition of a woman is a little bit different than what society considers it, you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective. You don't want to do that. So it's like, when you fully kind of understand the dynamic of your woman, the woman you're with, and your mental's in a space where you understand yourself, I feel like cheating is out the picture. But most men don't understand themselves enough to actually commit to something. It's the same thing with a lot of guys starting businesses. Let's say, for example, one day they want to open up a security business. The next day, they don't feel like doing that no more, because maybe the person they saw doing it is not in their life no more. Because a lot of people go based on face value and what they see. So if you see a guy making a lot of money off of owning a security company, and he just bought a BMW, and in that phase in your life, you love BMWs. You've been seeing them a lot for whatever reason. Or maybe you just like them since you was young. All of a sudden now, you want to start your own security company because you may feel like that's how you get the BMW. But in actuality, you may not know that man's personal reason behind him going through that venture, and the reason why he created that security company. So, genuinely speaking, it's the same concept in reference to cheating. You cheat yourself when you don't actually understand why you want to do that business, but you're going off of the strength of other reasons that are kind of much more so fantastic imaginings and not more so realistic. So that's another reason why too I think men cheat, because they're not being realistic. They focus more so on fantasy, and the fantasy of how things look and how things should go based on their experience and what they've been through. So my answer to that is basically fantasy, lust, and there may be other reasons. Definitely comment them if you feel so. So yeah. question. Why is Drake so popular? I feel like Drake is very popular because he's very confident. Most of the stuff that he drops, this is just my perspective, feel free to comment yours. Most of the things that he drops in reference to music is definitely dope, but it also has the energy of confidence as he believes in himself enough to drop it with a certain type of cadence. People like 50 have that cadence. Eminem have that cadence. I recall I was watching a little interview with 50, and as I'm watching the interview, 50's talking, and you can, no matter of fact, I was watching This Is 50, and he basically had a segment where he was talking about who had the best verses, what was his favorite verse. So as he was talking and he gave his favorite verse, as he was rapping it, you could see he gave a Nas verse. You could see how that verse had helped him for whatever reasons, changed him in his life. Actually, he said it word for word, and the cadence was heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Drake has that thing about him where it's like, okay, I'm versatile. I'm not more so focused on what people are thinking about me. I can actually be confident in my own space and believe in myself enough to not need other energies to boost me, even though that is gonna happen. But he has enough energy to hop on a track, do his thing, and sometimes outdo the person featuring, or even hop on somebody else's track and outdo them. That's just my perspective. But why is Drake popular? Because he has the confidence enough to know himself, and with knowing yourself comes talent and gifts just based on the inner you, genuinely. Got one. Ozarks. Is Wendy from Ozarks insane or sane? Shout out to the people that watch Ozarks. Great show. Definitely check it out. Now, my understanding behind Wendy, as I watched the show, and I'm not going to give any spoilers if you're into stuff like that, but then again, I can't spoil something for you. You got a mind of your own. But I feel like Wendy makes decisions based on the life that she's in. It's not easy working for a drug cartel and also being a politician at heart, genuinely, and mixing the negative with the positive. It's not that easy, honestly. So to see her kind of make decisions like fast, and it's funny because genuinely speaking, like, at first she was kind of scared. Not only that, she was going through things with Marty. So it's like to be thrown into that life out of nowhere, as you was already not enjoying the life that you genuinely had already. I would say based on her marriage, it's like now you get thrown into a life in reference to the cartel. And it's like now you have to balance both of these things while taking care of the kids, doing the best that you can to kind of stir this boat the way that fits you, and kind of still be you. You know what I'm saying? So do I think she's insane? She may have some tweaks, shouting at Ruth, going back and forth with Darlene, sitting there and watching Darlene actually faint and ask her to call the cops, and she just sits there and smile. One would say that's insane if they don't know the dynamic between these two, or what Darlene has done in the past, or how Wendy feels about Darlene, genuinely based on the things she's done in the past. You know, ripping a baby out of somebody's stomach and taking it it's weird. You'll see that if you don't. Just definitely watch it. That's a total. Darlene's crazy, but then again, her own version of what she grew up in is kind of different from the people watching. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Wendy's insane. But then to people that haven't been through that, she may be called insane because they don't know what she went through personally. And then again, it's just great actor also. And then again, it's just a movie. I mean, it's just a show. It's just a script. So yeah. Power. Shout out to the Power fans. Ghost Book 2 is dope. Tommy's coming. That's dope too. Seen the trailer for that. Raising Kanan is dope. Rock is dope. Kanan is dope. The Streets Need a Body, dope. Now, why do you think Tariq killed Ghost? Tariq killed Ghost because he got a ghost within him. You know what I'm saying? For his own reasons. And I feel like growing up, Tasha, his mom, kind of genuinely was going through things with Ghost as he kind of started dating Angela, and subconsciously would reveal certain things which she unconsciously didn't know. But you know, your son is around you 24/7, and you're also talking to him in a way where it's like, because you can't help it, you're hurting too, in reference to Ghost now finding Angela, his high school sweetheart. And you know, you could only imagine, like, even when Ghost was like, when Angela had died, Ghost was like, come on, Tasha, I just lost the love of my life. And I know in her mind, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I could have swore I was. But then again, genuinely, remember though, Ghost was trying to get out the game, and Tasha really wasn't trying to fuck with shit like that. She wanted to stay in it because that's the habit, and also that's the mundane. And it was very comfortable for her, like we was talking about people that's comfortable working. It's very comfortable for her to be in that dynamic because that's what she's used to. You know what I'm saying? And Ghost had his own demons too. So everybody's suffering from having their own demons and unconsciously showing things to Tariq. And also, Kanan had a big influence on that too. Shout out to 50. Kanan had a big influence on that too. So it's like, my father ain't always home. And I'm just speaking from the perspective of Tariq and my perspective of seeing Tariq. My father ain't always home. So it's like I ain't got shit to do. Not only that, there's a lot of things that I'm seeing about him and finding out about him, especially from Kanan. That's like, and mind you, Kanan's goal is to kind of, he don't fuck with Ghosts, but he fuck with Ghosts. He playing both sides because Ghost and them put him in prison for their own reasons. So Ghost, specifically Ghost and Tasha. So it's like he has a vendetta out. So it's not like he really chilling with Tariq. He kind of psychologically fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? So imagine going through that young, Raina dying, him having to killing Ray Ray. It's just a lot going on in his young mind. And I felt like he blamed Ghost for a lot of it. So it's like, when it came down to it and he actually shot Ghost, I felt like the boiling point was Ghost touching Tasha, putting hands on her. I think that was the time when he mushed her. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. When he mushed her. So it's like, I think Tariq killed him because he had a lot going on psychologically, and he blamed him for who he became. It's like history repeating itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, even Ghost caught certain bodies that didn't make no sense. But because he was thinking, his psyche wasn't all clear because of the life that he was in, like, he bodied his mans. When he went to the crib that night with the black on and all that, you know, those who watch it. And he bodied him. Come to find out, it wasn't even him that had, I think, set out the hits or something to that effect. I can't recall. It's been a while. So it's like, yeah. So Tariq killed Ghost because I feel like he blamed him for a lot of who he became and a lot of the problems he was going through in his psyche. And everybody played a part. Tasha, Kanan, Jukebox. Traumatic situations happening even when they killed Jukebox in front of Tariq. Raina dying over her trying to actually sit down there and kind of go to bats for Tariq in reference to Ray Ray and end up getting shot. So that must have been traumatic for him too. So yeah, I think he killed them for those reasons. Okay. Is lust a disorder? I say yes and I say no. I feel like lust may be genuinely a disorder to somebody not doing things in their best interest because of lust. So let's say a guy who had a wife for years and genuinely has a great family, 2 great kids, boy and a girl, great house, and he goes to work and now he starts looking at the secretary the wrong way, or the secretary gives him vibes because the secretary wants to move up in life, and she sees that he's the one to whatever her mind is set on in reference to how she grew up. So now before you know it, they have something going on, and now he's ready to either give up his family or even kill his family just to appease that fantasy of being with her, when in actuality she may want the money, the lifestyle he has. She may envy his wife subconsciously or unconsciously, and he may not even know that because he's so focused on how good she looks and how much of a trophy she could be within that fantasy he has. So in that speaking, lust can be a disorder. And then again, lust can just be lust because certain people do lust but never take their fantasy far enough to they actually sit down. I mean, for example, I lost the urge to lust because I genuinely breathed through my lust. Shout out to the Ways of a Superior Man. If you have issues with that, genuinely check out that book, Ways of a Superior Man, and it will tell you to breathe through that understanding, and you will kind of break apart the fantasy as you breathe, and you will see the realism to it. Not only that, the penis is for reproductive purposes, and that's just the way it goes, genuinely speaking. It's for reproductive purposes. Also, Yadabath created that understanding to create more prisons. Look into the Gnostics. I'm not going to go too deep. That's probably for another segment. But genuinely speaking, lust creates a fantasy based on the person lusting, and 10 times out of 10 it may not be for your best interest. Because if you're lusting, you're wanting something, you have an urge, a need, a craving. It's the same thing as greed. It's the same thing as overeating. And you breathe through that, and like I said, check the Ways of a Superior Man. You breathe through that, and you'll understand genuinely as a man that you don't have to stick your penis in every woman to actually understand, or you don't have to fuck every man to actually understand them, or get to where you need to be within your means of understanding of where you want to be. Understand yourself, and you'll be a better person, genuinely speaking. I think it allows you, as you breathe in the lust, it allows you to think with your brain and not more so with your penis or your vagina. And a lot of people having those thoughts and thinking with penis and vagina are currently in situations where they don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going through long-term heartache because of that. And some may be enjoying it for the moment, but every rise has a fall. It's the law of rhythm, rise and floor. Everything is outward, inward, out and in. Same measure for the left as the same measure for the right. Law of compensation, things of that sort. But yeah, it can. Just to answer the question. Lust can be a disorder depending on the situation. Got another one. Who do you think is better, NBA YoungBoy or FREDO Bang? Now, genuinely speaking, my perspective of NBA YoungBoy, I like him. Very dope artist. Consistently floods the internet with music, and he never stops. And I feel like that consistency with involvement and evolution creates the dynamic of who you see today as NBA YoungBoy, not really needing to win an Oscar, not an Oscar or a Grammy actually, or whatever the music world calls it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he still is the vibe of his generation, and definitely a legend within his generation. Totally dope music, but I do feel like a lot of his music is off the anger and him being a product of his environment. But he does have a cadence, and that's what's dope about him. Now, FREDO Bang, I actually like FREDO Bang too. Now, I remember when I had the company called Fits, shout out to Fits, Fashion Inspires Innovative Thoughts. That was my first clothing brand. I had reached out to FREDO Bang, and he actually answered, genuinely speaking, and just gave me an understanding of like, yo, when can you, if you want to, what kind of shirts you got, things of that sort. And I think that was dope. And I never got a chance to send anything to him. I don't feel like it was because he blew up or anything. It was more so, when you're in that lifestyle that he's living based on him being in his environment, losing a close friend such as his G Money, long live G Money. Great music, by the way, love his music, industry, shit like that, etc. Genuinely speaking, you have to be very cautious with your locations and things of that sort. So it seems like when I had asked, to send it to a location, he was still processing that. But he did let me know, I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things on my mind. So, it was cool. But I respect stuff like that, and that is definitely real. So when I who's better, both of them are great. In my perspective, I do listen to FREDO Bang too. He has great music. I love his melody and how he sings on it, but still gives that rugged, like, I come from the block, you know what I'm saying? I come from the trenches. And I think NBA YoungBoy is the same, but FREDO, I just like him because he's like the underdog. NBA YoungBoy's doing his thing. He made it out of what he was in. But genuinely speaking, I love FREDO. FREDO's like the underdog. But if I was to pick, just because of the whole understanding with me kind of talking to him personally in reference to my clothing line, I would definitely go with FREDO. I've had his songs on repeat before. Same for NBA YoungBoy. But much love to both NBA YoungBoy, FREDO Bang. Peace, love. Let's see. Next question. Was DJ Khaled right about Tyler the Creator? That's the last question, by the way. Shout out to Miss Melanins, Hair Essentials, Black Raps, Rolling Paper, Whyy, Vibe Raising Therapy. Definitely check them all out on Instagram on GQ's Universe. But yeah, back to that. DJ Khaled did say something in reference to him not being number one and Tyler Creator's album being number one. He said that nobody listens to Tyler. Tyler is weird. He makes weird music. Well, genuinely speaking, from my perspective, what's weird music? And was he right about what he said? Maybe he has his own reasons for what he said, because he didn't become number one. He felt like he was the best. And I feel like every fantasy has a flaw. You won't always be number one. So do I feel like he was hating in a way of speaking, he was kind of mad. I don't feel like this thing is about winning. It's about putting your best art out there and being able to be genuine within that art. And whatever comes, comes, you know. These are just pluses. Being number one is just a plus. I don't think you should be going based on if you're number one or not. I think that is egotistic. So a lot of men suffer from that. And as far as DJ Khaled being right, he was right within his means of understanding why he was right when he said it, because he must have felt like he was genuinely right to say it. But even listening to Tyler, the Creator's mind, Tyler the Creator, that's, the name is dope, and it speaks for a lot. When I watch his videos and I listen to his music is dope. I don't listen to it a lot, but I love the video where he's eating the roach, throwing up, things of that sort. Why? Because it's raw. It's real. Even when he was performing, I think, I'm not sure what's the name of it, but it was like he was on stage, and at the top in the window was somebody going back and forth like a shadow, a silhouette of a shadow. And his energy is just dynamic. The album was great. I love that song. I love that song with him and ASAP Rocky, where I think it's Potato Salad, where they're just sitting there vibing. Oh wow, you got a snowball? Okay. So when they're sitting there vibing and then genuinely creating a song off of their friendship. And ASAP Rocky is a great artist too. Shout out to him. Shout out to Rihanna. Shout out to Fenty. Genuinely speaking, I love the dynamic of Tyler's music, and I think he's a great creator. And DJ Khaled said what he said. Was he right? Was he wrong? It depends. If you're talking from an egotistic perspective, well, you're wrong to judge another man's music and you haven't heard it. He also said that he doesn't listen to it. So how could you really speak for his music if you haven't heard it? But that's why it makes it seem like it's kind of haterish. But peace, love. Here's another segment of Whyy on GQ's Universe. Check out all the stuff on GQ's Universe. Hair Essentials, Abundant Growth Oil coming soon. Feel Better Juice coming soon. Passion Fruit, turmeric. Everything essential for your body and your mental health and your physical health. Black wraps, rolling papers. A lot of peace within the roll. If you're gonna smoke genuinely, make sure that you use things that remind you and symbols that remind you of who you're becoming, and things that put you in the mindset of doing things in your best interests. So, and why spiritual therapy, continuing to focus on, you know, your vibe and raising it to know yourself enough so you kind of don't be making comments like DJ Khaled. But, you know, then again, he is the best. And shout out to his son Assad. Babe, what does that mean again?
Light within.
Light within. Assad means light within. So, you know, inner light. So, great name. You must be on timing in reference to a spiritual understanding with yourself. If you named him that, or, you know, what you did to Ace Hood was fucked up. But then again, you didn't do nothing to him. You know, Ace Hood controls what he controls. Shout out to Ace Hood. Yeah. Peace. Love. Shout out my lady. She's pregnant. Baby on the way. Love, 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 love. Peace. You guys enjoy your day. Continue to raise your vibes. And may this video genuinely raise your vibe. Shout out to my dog too. He was barking. You'll hear him. Not cutting that. Fuck that. Authentic. Raw. Just like Tyler. Peace and love, guys.